Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Charlotte Brown, and on today's show, we are talking about all kinds of health and wellness goals in 2017. My guest today is Jason Van Den Odeler. He's the owner of Iyn Fitness. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you, Charlotte.
So it's 2017, and lots of times comes with the beginning of a new year is all kinds of New Year's resolutions. And on the top of the list, lots of times is people making health and wellness, fitness goals, all that kind of stuff. So I thought today we could talk a bit about that and what kind of, puts together a great health and fitness kind of plan for a year. But I'm curious a little bit about you first. So, how did you get into the health and fitness profession?
Well, I was an athlete for most of my life until I was 23 or 24. And during that time, I'd been doing a lot of coaching. I was away on a scholarship at an Olympic training center. As I finished my athletic career, I was coaching and coaching athletes, and that sort of transitioned into teaching some boxing classes and working with athletes, and then it sort of transitioned from there. And when I finished university, I got various certifications, etc., and started to train people for health and wellness.
So how long have you been, working with people, helping them reach their health and fitness goals?
I've had a studio now this is going on our 10th year in business in the same location, uninterrupted. And prior to that, I had been training people in facilities all over the city for almost 10 years. So
wow.
It's been a long time.
So yeah, you've been doing it a long time. You've seen all kinds of people, I'm sure, that you've kind of helped reach their health and fitness goals. What are some of the challenges that you find most people face when they're deciding that they're going to get, healthier, fitter, whatever the case is?
Well, I mean, we could go on and on for hours about what the various challenges that they have are. I think the most important or the crucial element is to find some kind of emotional leverage. I mean, people have a sort of, I want to lose weight, or I want to look better naked, or I want to do this or do that. People need to find things so that they have some emotional leverage, so it actually has a little bit of meaning, and then they can stick to it and make it become part of who they are, part of their lifestyle.
Right. Because I think with New Year's resolutions, there's people who they find themselves that's their New Year's resolution every year. So, what do you find is why people can't stick with it? Is it, excuses? Is it what kind of a priority you put things in your life, just from the people that you've kind of worked with?
Right. I think that in general, the people that have the most success are the people, obviously, that develop some type of system where they have some accountability, whether it's a workout partner, whether it's hiring a trainer, whether it's a goal with an end in mind. That sometimes can be enough to keep them compelled. As much as anything, they need to find something that they really enjoy and that isn't a waste of the time, and also importantly, just doesn't hurt them.
Right, right. And I guess that's the biggest piece of the puzzle is, people don't want to go to something that they dread doing, so it's not the fact that it has to be a gym. There's lots of different, fitness things that people can do as long as you get in a routine and you start doing it.
Absolutely. The best program is one that you're going to stick to and do consistently. Now, there are different ways that are more efficient in terms of reaching certain goals, depending upon what they are. The most important thing is you find something that you really love doing, you really enjoy doing. No one really wants to stick to anything that, it's not like your average fitness enthusiast or person off the street is just trying to work out so that they feel better,
right.
And they can, they don't want to spend hours in the gym. They don't want to, try to, get on a bodybuilding stage. They just need to find an activity that makes them feel better, helps them to move better, and is something that they can sustain.
Right, right. And I'm sure there's lots of excuses that you hear all the time as to why, people might start and they're coming 3 times a week, and then all of a sudden people start skipping workouts, or they're coming less, you don't see them for a while. Let's talk a little bit about excuses. So you mentioned time. I'm sure that's the one that's on the top of the list, is people say, I don't have enough time, or there's not enough time in the day. But just how important is it to kind of make time in your schedule to
well, I mean, I think that it's extremely important. I think we know the challenges and the studies they've done on whether it be sick days in the workplace. There's tons of correlative evidence to suggest that the healthier person, the more a person exercises and works out to a certain degree, they're just less apt to become sick. They're less apt to be unhealthy. So in terms of that, it's not just a matter of time. Right? It's sorry, what was the question?
Well, just like how much. Sorry, I was even looking at the next question, but just about excuses and that, like not having enough time is kind of the top excuse a lot of people use.
Time, there's really no explanation for that. People spend a ton of time watching TV, a ton of time doing other activities. You don't need to spend 7 or 8 hours a week in the gym, but just a few hours a week over the course of the 7 days, you can find some type of activity to do.
Right.
There's not really, I mean, I wish there was a better explanation for why people can't find the time. People choose not to find the time. Yes. That's the issue.
And there's lots of tips and tricks too. Like a lot of people will say, hey, I make it like an appointment like I would have for, doing anything else in my life. You schedule it into your schedule and you don't break it, just like you wouldn't break, going to an important meeting or something like that if you make it a priority.
Yeah, exactly.
How much time does it take before people start feeling a difference or noticing a difference in their health, do you find?
Well, generally, if you're picking an activity that you enjoy, I mean, you should feel better an hour later when you leave. We know that it helps your mood. We know that it helps you to feel better. It shouldn't hurt. You shouldn't come out of there feeling like you've just been hit by a bus. Typically, you're going to start to feel better almost immediately. Now, is that going to solve all your aches and pains? No. But typically, we want to feel better. The whole idea of exercising is to feel better, to be able to do your other activities with a little bit more ease and success. You should start to feel better almost immediately. And most people do. Right. If they take a smart approach, they're going to start to feel better almost immediately.
And that's an important thing to focus on, because somebody might say like, hey, I've got a lot of weight that I need to lose. Maybe it's 50 pounds, maybe it's 100 pounds. And that can be very daunting for someone. But knowing that, success maybe isn't always dictated just by the scale, but maybe how you feel every single day, right?
Hopefully we can find them getting to enjoy the process, and the goal should be sort of the action. My goal is to exercise this number of days a week or this amount of time, not necessarily what the scale says at the end of the week, because the scale is pretty meaningless for the most part. You have to, and it doesn't give you much leverage emotionally. You have to really, it's about feeling better, having your clothes fit a little bit better, being able to go up and down the stairs without panting and puffing. Those are kind of being able to get up and down off the floor to play with your children. Those are real tangible things. So obviously you can use the scale as just another tool to measure progress and to measure whether or not you're moving in the right direction. But it should be treated as something that's not really all that important.
Yeah, absolutely. And if somebody's just starting out and saying like, I don't even know where to begin, what are some key factors to include when you decide that, hey, I'm going to start creating a more healthier lifestyle for myself?
Well, you have to, depending upon your background, I mean, you have to start small, right? You have to start in increments that are doable and essentially things that aren't going to hurt you, right? So whether or not you go to see a professional, whether you go see a trainer or you get an assessment at a fitness club, you want to make sure that they are going to tailor your approach to your individual needs and and work with you individually, rather than just throwing you into a group and having you jump around and do lots of stuff that is going to do more detriment than, every time you go to the gym, you should feel like you've accomplished something, like it was a success, because that's the whole point of it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with Jason and talk about more health and fitness tips for 2017.